Have you ever felt that magnetic pull from someone, yet they never say a word? You catch little glimpses, tiny smiles, lingering looks, the way they show up in your life. But still, they stay silent. Today, I'm revealing 7 subtle signs a girl likes you but won't say it. And trust me, some of these will hit you right in the heart. By the end of this video, you'll never miss the hidden signals again. Drop a comment below telling me where you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe, because what you're about to discover might just change the way you see love forever. You know, people often underestimate the power of what isn't said. Words are just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath the surface, our bodies are constantly communicating what our hearts and minds can't put into words. And when a girl likes you, often it's not in what she says. It's in what she does, in the subtle language of her body. It's in the way her eyes linger on you a little longer than usual, how her smile seems to brighten the room when you walk in. These aren't random gestures. They're signs, sometimes unconscious, of attraction and interest. Think about this. Our brains are wired to pick up on patterns, to notice when someone's behavior changes in response to us. If she leans in when you speak, if her feet or body subtly angle toward you even in a crowded room, it's not just coincidence. These micro signals, mirroring your movements, lightly touching her hair, tilting her head when listening, are all forms of nonverbal communication. Psychologists call this mirroring, a subconscious way humans create connection. It's her mind telling you, without ever saying a word, that she feels drawn to you. And there's something profoundly philosophical here. Human attraction often operates in shadows, not in full light. People are hesitant to reveal their feelings directly because vulnerability is risky, because emotions are delicate. So she expresses herself in fragments, through subtle gestures, fleeting glances, soft laughter at your jokes that others might not notice. Paying attention to these fragments is like learning a language, one that requires patience, observation, and emotional intelligence. It's about noticing the tiny deviations from normal behavior, the little extra effort in her smile, the warmth in her tone when she speaks with you, the way her eyes sparkle when a shared memory comes up. These small cues are the whispers of the heart. And here's what's critical. You have to see them, not just with your eyes, but with awareness, presence, and sensitivity. Because missing these signals means missing the opportunity to connect with someone on a deeper level. Relationships, attraction, love, they're built in these quiet, often invisible moments. They aren't always loud, they're nuanced, layered, subtle. Recognizing them isn't just about decoding her behavior. It's about understanding human connection at its most profound, most authentic level. So the next time you're with her, pause, observe, listen with more than your ears. Watch for the little signs your mind might try to dismiss as trivial, because they're not trivial at all. They're the doorway into understanding how she feels without her ever saying a single word. And remember, in the world of human connection, awareness is power. When you learn to read these subtle signals, you're not just noticing attraction. You're respecting it, honoring it, and giving yourself the chance to respond in kind. Never underestimate the quiet language of the heart. It speaks louder than words ever could. Have you ever noticed how some people make time for you, even when their schedules are packed, even when life pulls them in 100 different directions? That's not coincidence. That's intentional energy, even if it's quiet, even if it's subtle. When a girl likes you, often she shows it through presence rather than words. She finds ways to insert herself into your world, not as an obligation, but as a choice. And this choice is a signal of her feelings, a reflection of her priorities. Consider the psychology of attention. Attention is the most valuable currency we have. Everyone has the same 24 hours, the same mental and emotional bandwidth. Choosing to spend it on someone, checking in, asking questions, remembering small details, is profound. It's a silent message that says, "You matter to me." And it's rarely accidental. When she remembers what you said 2 weeks ago or sends a text just to see how your day went, she's investing in the connection. Subtle, yes, but remarkably telling. There's also a philosophical angle here. Attraction isn't always dramatic or loud. It often lives in consistency, in small gestures repeated over time. She might not confess her feelings outright, she might even deny them to herself, but her actions betray her heart. She prioritizes conversations with you, she shows up in spaces you frequent, she engages in your interests, even tangentially, because connection matters more than comfort. And what's fascinating is that humans are inherently sensitive to these patterns. We sense effort, attention, and genuine care often before it's named. But here's the deeper truth: noticing these signs requires mindfulness. It's easy to overlook subtlety when we're distracted, when we expect love to announce itself in grand gestures or declarations. But real connection rarely works that way. It's in the quiet moments, the extra text, the shared laugh, the small kindness, that attraction reveals itself. These moments demand awareness, a willingness to tune into what might seem insignificant, but is deeply significant. And notice this: when she makes time for you, she's also showing vulnerability. She's offering a part of her day, her energy, and her attention, precious commodities she could have given elsewhere. It's a form of silent honesty, a signal of interest that words might never capture. Recognizing it requires emotional intelligence, empathy, and the courage to respond thoughtfully. So next time you sense that someone is carving space for you in their life, pay attention. Don't dismiss it as coincidence or friendliness alone. Understand that human connection often speaks in unspoken ways through patterns, priorities, and presence. And when you recognize these signs, you're not just observing attraction, you're honoring it, acknowledging it, and giving yourself the chance to reciprocate. Because ultimately, love and connection aren't always shouted from the rooftops. Sometimes they whisper through time, attention, and care. And if you're awake enough to hear them, you'll discover a depth of understanding that words alone could never provide. Sometimes, attraction isn't just about presence or gestures. It's about the emotional energy she directs toward you, even when she doesn't say it outright. You'll notice it in subtle ways: the way she laughs a little louder at your jokes than anyone else's, the way she checks in when she senses you're feeling down, or the way she seems to instinctively know when you need support. These are not accidents. They are unspoken signals, emotional breadcrumbs she leaves behind, guiding you to understand her feelings without ever uttering a single word. Humans are wired for connection, and we naturally respond to emotional resonance. When someone invests emotionally in you, even subtly, it triggers a deep recognition: this person values me, notices me, and cares for me in ways that words cannot fully express. She might tease you gently, challenge you thoughtfully, or share small personal vulnerabilities, all of which reveal layers of trust and interest. These behaviors are psychologically profound because they indicate a willingness to bridge the emotional gap, to create intimacy, even without verbal confirmation. Philosophically, this speaks to the nature of human interaction itself. We often think communication requires language, but much of what we truly understand comes from feeling, from sensing the rhythm of someone's emotions alongside our own. She may never explicitly say, "I like you," but her emotions ripple through her actions, her energy, and the way she engages with your presence. Recognizing this requires attunement, a willingness to observe not just what is said, but what is felt, and to respond not just logically, but empathetically. And here's the key: noticing these emotional signals is not passive. It requires mindfulness and openness. When you pay attention, you see patterns emerge: how she anticipates your needs, how she remembers what matters to you, how she subtly prioritizes you in moments you might have thought insignificant. These are signs of care, of genuine interest, and of attraction hidden beneath the surface. So, as you reflect on these subtle signs, remember this: the heart speaks even when the lips are silent. Emotional signals are often louder, truer, and more revealing than any declaration. If you learn to recognize them, to honor them, and to respond with awareness and integrity, you open the door to a deeper, more authentic connection. In the end, the most meaningful relationships often begin not with words, but with the unspoken truths that quietly shape our hearts.